Good evening and welcome to State of Business on our television. I am Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. Blue economic potential highlighted at Colombo Summit. India calls for joint strategy on South Asia changes. News in detail. The second edition of the Maritime Conference titled Voyage Sri Lanka 2025 was held this morning in Colombo. The conference has been organized by the Sri Lanka Expo Development Board in collaboration with key stakeholders from the public and private sectors. The conference, which has been conducted under the theme Unlocking Sri Lanka's Blue Economic Potential, aimed to highlight Sri Lanka's contribution to the blue economy and its potential as a global maritime hub. Addressing the Voyage Sri Lanka 2025 Maritime Conference, Industry and Entrepreneurship Development Minister Sunil Handunetty emphasized that Sri Lanka's geographic location is advantageous for the maritime industry. International development partners including the Asian Development Bank, International Maritime Organization and United Nations Development Programme, as well as academic experts from the University of Moratuwa and University of Ruhuna and local and international experts participated as resource persons at the event. Deputy Minister of Finance and Planning Dr. Anil Jayantha delivered the keynote address on unlocking Sri Lanka's blue economy through sustainable maritime investments and economic transformation.
We may argue why having these such huge potential. It's pretty obvious fact when we look at blue ocean economy, it is pretty obvious that huge potential is there. We have been having this thing over a long period of time, but we have not been able to just materialize the benefits of this thing. Why? There could be many reasons, but I don't think that there are technical or inherent reasons. So many reasons are connected to either administrative or political reasons. To great extent, I think the political reasons. The mandate given to us, we have either not used it to bring the benefits out of this, or sometimes we may have blocked, or sometimes we may have over-supported, and influence in areas where you can maximize your personal interest, not the public interest. So those are the causes. So therefore, we are a government that we will never ever conflict our private interest with the public interest, so that can be guaranteed.
Minister Dr. Anil Jayantha also said that the country has already given a message to the world that the incumbent government is intact and all its stakeholders are working together for common purposes instead of personal interests of individuals.
Now everyone, no matter irrespective of any differences that everyone has in terms of political ideologies or any other things, everyone, if just look at the countries from a general perspective, everyone says that so it has been stabilized. The political stability is key. There are no rifts in our government. It is not only a two-third majority. It is a government we work with the policy consistency with one aim. It is evidenced by today, for example. So here, 3 ministers together. In transforming the society, apart from the other things that everyone do, every agent or the stakeholder does, the investors and investments will have to do a bigger role. In doing so, in contributing the economic development of bringing investment, apart from the other factors, the confidence of the investors in the government, in the policies, the economy is a key. So therefore, you can trust our government and work with our government. Always we extend our support with this stabilization.
The United States has reaffirmed its travel advisory for Sri Lanka, maintaining the existing risk level without any escalation. The clarification comes amid ongoing tourism growth from American visitors to the island. The US Department of State has confirmed Sri Lanka remains at level 2, which advises travelers to exercise increased caution. The same advisory level applied to popular destinations including Italy, France, Spain, the United Kingdom, India and the Maldives. The only update involves a standard global note about landmine awareness, referencing a small, demarcated 23 square kilometer jungle area in the far north that is not near any tourist regions. This clarification emphasizes that the update is part of a worldwide formatting requirement and does not indicate new or increased danger. The reaffirmation comes as Sri Lanka continues to welcome American tourists with 48,174 US visitors arriving so far this year. Tourism authorities stress that Sri Lanka remains a safe, welcoming destination with vibrant culture, pristine nature, and warm hospitality awaiting travelers from around the world. Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Deputy High Commissioner of India has emphasized the need for India and Sri Lanka to collaboratively address evolving geopolitical dynamics in South Asia. The remarks were made during the Bridging Borders to Business Forum in Colombo yesterday.
For the times we live in, bridging borders, enabling Sri Lanka's bond market in INR. And the reason I qualify it as apt phrase is because we are living in times of narrow, nationalist, and arguably short-sighted geo-economic world. The geo-economic future seems accelerating towards a receding multilateralism, deglobalization, and withering of international trading principles and laws. With the failure of multilateral dispute redressal mechanism, the countries having tendency to having bilateralist or regionalist approach to mitigate trade and investment challenges will be preferred. These challenges will significantly impact the countries of the global south. Perhaps it is high time that like-minded countries, in this case India and Sri Lanka, must re-strategize and reshape our approach to the bilateral and regional trading, trade settlement mechanisms, and mobilizing innovative financing models.
Continuing his address at the same business forum, the Deputy High Commissioner of India also highlighted specific economic collaboration between India and Sri Lanka that is expanding to include potential bond issuances in Indian currency. The initiative was discussed at a major business forum featuring Indian diplomatic representation.
We ourselves have made modest but significant efforts to advance trading arrangements and financing framework in Indian rupee. The Reserve Bank of India issued guidelines for trade settlement in INR between India and Sri Lanka in 2023. This was a landmark step to advance bilateral and regional trade while securing it from the vagaries of politicized geo-economic environment. We went a step ahead with the introduction of Unified Payment Interface, UPI-based settlement for Indian tourists visiting Sri Lanka. These two steps would need to be looked at in the context of another recent landmark RBI permission for financial institutions and banks to issue INR-denominated loans in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka's manufacturing and services sectors continued their expansion in September, according to the latest Purchasing Managers Index data. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka released the figures showing positive growth trends. The manufacturing PMI recorded an index value of 55.4 in September, indicating continued expansion in manufacturing activities. The growth was largely driven by the textiles and wearing apparel sector, with new orders and production showing significant increases. However, the employment sub-index dropped below the neutral threshold, with many firms reporting difficulties in retaining and attracting skilled workers. Meanwhile, the services PMI recorded 58.7, showing slower but still positive expansion compared to August. The services growth was supported by strong performance in wholesale and retail trade, along with improved financial services activity driven by increased lending. Both sectors maintained positive outlooks for the next 3 months, reflecting expectations of strong year-end seasonal demand and improved macroeconomic conditions. Stay tuned for stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on positive notes today. The All Share Price Index gained by 123.87 points to close at 22,416.15. The S&P SL20 gained by 27.82 points to close at 6,226.64. The turnover was of 8.8 billion rupees and over 293 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.